Sports, and I'm back with another video. And today is Monday, and all the football games, all the playoff games, divisional round is over with, and now we're going to the conference championship game. And I sort of want to recap the divisional rounds, sort of go through each game that presently happened, and just dissect some of the games, just see some of the things that went wrong, see some of the things that I liked, that was fun, that was entertaining. And so, yeah, I'm going to just start with the first game that happened. That was the Bengals versus the Titans. And, wow, what a game. 19-16. The Bengals finally getting over that hump and also getting another playoff win, going to the championship game. And just seeing Joe Burrow, just seeing Jamar Chase doing his thing is a good thing to behold, especially for a team like that, a young team like that. Somebody that I know compared the Bengals team to a young OKC team. Good comparison, really good comparison. I actually definitely see a lot of potential just like that. And this Bengals team is a lot of fun to watch. Now, for the Tennessee Titans, I did have the Tennessee Titans beating the Cincinnati Bengals. They came up short. Ryan Tannehill was a big reason for that. He definitely folded under pressure. He definitely didn't come up when the time needed him to come up. Derrick Henry really didn't do a whole bunch, but you can't slight Derrick Henry because he came back from that injury and he had all those metal plates on. I believe it was his ankle or something like that. So really this all came down to Ryan Tannehill not getting the job done because he had all the pieces. He had Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. He had solid people around him. He had the defense as well. So that in itself is just a disappointment for Ryan Tannehill. I mean, for crying out loud, if we look at just the stats itself. I said it again, it was 19-16, and Ryan Tannehill, he was absolutely abysmal. Like, I'm just looking at the stats right now. It was 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, like that. That in itself, people calling him a fraud, people saying that, Ryan Tannehill, he's just not that guy, and it really is. People comparing the Tennessee Titans to the Utah Jazz when it came to the NBA and the NFL. I mean, I could see the comparisons right there because the Tennessee Titans, they had everything that you would need to win a Super Bowl, but it's just the QB was just not it. And so then you look at when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals and you look at Joe Burrow, and I'm not gonna lie, Joe Burrow is, if you look at the stats, I mean, even watching the game, he wasn't particularly that good. Now, face it. Now, granted, his offensive line was not helping him at all. Now, he did make the plays he needed to do at the end and also in the beginning of the game. And Jamar Chase, he came up huge. What did he have on? 109 yards, like this dude right here. It's unbelievable. The LSU 2019 team, everybody was like, oh my God, it's one of the greatest teams of all time. That was one of the greatest offenses of all time. We had Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, done argument, like one of the greatest teams of all time, one of the greatest offenses of all time. And he showed up as a rookie, did his thing. And then, again, like I said, with Derrick Henry, he didn't really do much when it came to rushing the football. He had 20 attempts, but he only had like 62 yards. A.J. Brown showed up. He had 142 yards. Good God almighty. Julio Jones had 62 yards. But overall, Ryan Tannehill, man, he's just awful. It's really that simple. I can't wait to see what is more in store for the Cincinnati Bengals because they're going to be facing the Kansas City Chiefs next. And I'm going to get to that game later on, which was absolutely insane with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. But yeah, overall, I'm just happy that the Cincinnati Bengals finally erased that 31-year playoff win drought. Not being able to win a playoff game and to come in this playoffs and win 2 playoff games, the wild card and divisional round, and now have a chance to possibly go to the Super Bowl. It's a beautiful thing to behold. It really is. Just looking at the Marvin Lewis years and how they could never get over the hump with all that talent, and now to be able to do it, it's a great thing to behold. So now let's get to the next thing, and I want to talk about just this is obviously you guys saw my previous videos when it came to the Green Bay Packers, when it came to the San Francisco 49ers, and it's still hard in my, it hurts. Like, it still hurts. Like, it's still fresh in my mind. Luckily, Tom Brady lost, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, but luckily he lost, but still a heart, it's still a knife in my heart, you know what I'm saying? It hurts. It still hurts. And so 13-10, Jimmy Garoppolo did not particularly play well at all. It kind of reminds me in a way, remember when these teams faced in the past in the playoffs, and Jimmy Garoppolo, he didn't necessarily play well also. He just managed the game, let the running game sort of materialize, do the thing, and just not screw anything up. And Jimmy Garoppolo, for the most part, he was screwing things up. But as we all know, when it came to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers couldn't get the job done, only amounting to 10 points. Albeit, I get it, the offensive line, you didn't have Bakhtiari, it was reshuffling and everything like that, and so it was very problematic. You lost one of your best offensive linemen in free agency last year. And you also lost, I think it was Elton Jenkins, torn ACL, I think, in the beginning of the season. So that in itself was very problematic. But overall, you still had enough talent, and Aaron Rodgers just couldn't get the job done. I'm looking at Jimmy Garoppolo's stats. He was 11 for 19 for 131 yards and 1 INT. No touchdowns. That's pathetic. That's horrible in itself. What is it? A quarterback rating of 57? Like, you're supposed to win that game. Like, you're supposed to do everything you can to win that game when your quarterback is that anemic, that awful, that pedestrian. But in itself, I'm just looking at Aaron Rodgers' stats: 20 for 29, 225 yards, 0 touchdowns. He was sacked 5 times. But, you just look at it and you're saying, okay, 20 for 29, 225 yards. He didn't turn the ball over, but he didn't amount for any touchdowns. And overall, he just wasn't able to get the goods done when it came to moving the ball down the field. And also, I'll have to say that there was plenty of opportunities that they could have scored a touchdown, but he wasn't able to get the job done. I mean, for crying out loud, when we had Aaron Jones, remember Aaron Jones? We threw that ball to Aaron Jones, he wide open, and it's crazy. I don't know what Aaron Jones was thinking. Why would you go this way when just go straight ahead and you'll possibly be able to get a touchdown? Now, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he still had a pretty good opportunity of hitting his head on the goalpost. So I don't understand what Aaron Jones was thinking on that play. Was he, I don't know, did somebody give him money or something and they just say, yo, don't score on this play? Like, I don't understand what Aaron Jones was thinking. Like, did he have CTE? Does he have a concussion we don't know about? I don't know. Somebody, I don't know. But Aaron Jones was tripping on that play. And so Aaron Rodgers, ultimately that play, I think it resulted in no points because the field goal, the special teams field goal unit, it got blocked. See, stuff like that in a critical game of this magnitude, you can't be making boneheaded mistakes like that. And this is why people were calling the Green Bay Packers special teams unit one of the worst in the league, arguably the worst, is because of stupid stuff like this. Now, I was watching the Green Bay Packers special teams unit all year, and yeah, it was pretty bad, but it wasn't this bad, for crying out loud. Yeah, the kicker, he was missing kicks and he would normally make. The spotter, I think they call it a spotter, whatever, for the guy that spots, I think it's the ball, so the kicker can kick it. He wasn't particularly very well also. So, yeah, that in and itself was a problem. Sure, when it came to the kickoffs, the kick returner, punt returners would get extra yards that they shouldn't have. Sure. But this right here was an embarrassment. Absolutely abysmal. I did not see this coming because they were bad, but never in my wildest imagination they would be this god awful. A block punt and then a scoop and score from the other team? What the hell was that? See, this is the tough. See, if that didn't happen, I hate doing hypotheticals, but if that didn't happen, the Green Bay Packers would have had a better opportunity to win the game. It's always some nonsense with this team. I don't understand it. But in itself, that doesn't give Aaron Rodgers an excuse to not win the game. He should have won that game. He should have done enough. He should have at least scored 20 points to win. Because, yeah, Nick Bosa was a problem that game. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching Nick Bosa, and he was beating the offensive line every time. Like, no homo. Pause. He was just wreaking havoc. I was watching it live, and even still, you still had enough opportunities. And Matt LaFleur, I don't know what Matt LaFleur was thinking in the fourth quarter. I remember there was like one drive where it was just pass, and then fourth down, and now we have to punt. No running, no nothing. And I was just like, why would we do that? Because the running game was pretty good for us. Aaron Jones was running the ball very effectively. I don't understand why you keep doing that, especially if you know your offensive line has not been very good this game. Why not, I don't know, alleviate some of the pressure away from the offensive line and run the football? Because when it comes to offensive line, it's easier for them to run block than it is to pass block. Pass blocking, it obviously takes a lot longer. It's just a lot of nuance, a lot of different things that goes into blocking and everything, blocking teams. And when it comes to running the football, it's much easier. So I don't know why they would do that, why Matt LaFleur would decide, hey, you know what? On this drive, let's pass every down. That's going to keep the defense honest? No. And it didn't work. Now, I get it. It's Aaron Rodgers. I said in my last video, it's Aaron Rodgers, MVP, about to get another MVP. But it's snowing outside. It's bad weather. It's very cold. Guys are dropping passes. Guys are fumbling the ball. Mercedes Lewis. How about you give the ball to Aaron Jones, who's been running the ball effectively? I don't know. I would do that. But I digress. And now the 49ers are going to the championship game, and we have a NFC West showdown between the 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. So yeah, the game overall, great finish for the other team, for Aaron Rodgers haters, for overall landscape in the NFL. But as a Packer fan, it just sucks. So yeah, now that we're done with that game, I want to get to the next crop of games, that is the Sunday games, and I want to get to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Los Angeles Rams. And now this one surprised me as well, because I thought Tom Brady was just going, it's Tom Brady. You don't bet against Tom Brady. I thought he was going to get the job done and win the game, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were, down a deficit. I was surprised. I was shocked. I was like, 27-3 against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home? This is unheard of. And so you see all of that going on, and then all of a sudden, some craziness happens. I don't know what the hell. People saying it was scripted. People were saying this isn't real. This is all an act. Hey, I don't blame you, because the stuff that was happening in the second half for Tom Brady is unbelievable. I've never seen. Let me not even say I've never seen it, because it's happened 28-3 against the Falcons. But this stuff is absurd. And I was at the point, I was just like, please, Lord, just please don't give it to Tom Brady. Please let it go our way for once. And yes, Matthew Stafford. Who would have thought Matthew Stafford would get the best of Tom Brady? He was able to get the best of Tom Brady and make clutch throws to Cooper Kupp. Thank God for Cooper Kupp. I can't believe I'm saying that. Cooper Kupp, man, clutch, and clutch. Yes, sir. And Cooper Kupp was wide open, got 2 catches in the later time in the fourth quarter, and they were able to win the game by another field goal, which is absolutely insane. These divisional rounds have been very, very good. Maybe the best divisional round matchups we've ever had, because I can't think of a better divisional round than this. With these games, with these outcomes, with 2 games going down to the wire, ending in a field goal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just actually 3 games, because of the Bengals, with the Packers, and then also with Tampa Bay. So this is amazing football, and seeing Tom Brady almost come back, like he tied the game up, which was absolutely insane. And then I was just like, damn. Tom Brady done did it again. Tom Brady about to win this game. And to see the Los Angeles Rams rally and win this game was a beautiful thing to behold, especially for a guy like Matthew Stafford, a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr., he's been through so much in his entire career, past 6 years, going from the Giants, the mediocre Giants, as we see now. Even as we speak, the Giants are still awful. And how long has Odell been off the Giants? And then you see with the Cleveland Browns as well, and just Baker Mayfield struggling and his receivers struggling and the team not being able to get the job done as well. To see Odell Beckham Jr. get traded to a team, a winning team, a talented team as well, and with the quarterback that is really good at throwing the ball, who threw the ball to Calvin Johnson, who broke the all-time receiving yards record. It's a beautiful thing to behold, because people thought, there was people that thought Odell was done. There was people that thought, hey, Odell, it's been a long time since you've been really doing much. So I just love that Odell has finally gotten a good quarterback, somebody that actually is a solid, at least second tier, you know what I'm saying? And so now you see Odell is thriving. He's scoring touchdowns. He's getting receiving yards. And it's great, man. It's really good. You just got to love Odell. I look at Odell the same way I would look at like a guy like Derrick Rose. And you just got to appreciate them still being able to do what they do, still being able to go out and produce, because you saw the struggles. You saw what they went to in the past. So shout out to Odell. You're not the problem. Baker was the problem. Other people were the problem. You were never the problem. And all that narrative, Odell's the problem, Baker plays better without Odell, that's ridiculous. And we're seeing it right now. And I hope you are able to get to the Super Bowl, because I'll be rooting for you. But yeah, that game in itself, it was just really interesting. Obviously, if Tom Brady had some more of his pieces like Tristan Wirth, I think he didn't play. Obviously, we know everything with Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin as well. And maybe it probably would have been a different outcome, but I'm not about to make excuses, because we've seen this in the past with Tom Brady being very fortunate, not having all those other teams not having all their pieces as well. So we're not going to get to the excuses here. So shout out to Matthew Stafford, great outcome. So then we have the last game, and what, man, you talk about the best for last. This game right here, it's unbelievable. This is peak football. You know how to say peak fiction? This is peak football right here. And they talk about two young quarterbacks, the future of the league. They were on display tonight, and they say, oh, this is the new Brady versus Manning. I wouldn't go that far, but what I will say is that these two guys are definitely going to be around for a long time, competing against one another. And Josh Allen, you just got to applaud Josh Allen, man. He did his thing that night. Oh my God. I think he had like 4 touchdowns. I'm just looking at the stats right now. Man, it was like 42-36. Just sensational football, absolutely insane. And just the back and forth, especially the last minute of the game. You thought that, the Kansas City Chiefs got this, and all of a sudden, Josh Allen scores and leaves 13 seconds left. You're like, oh my God, the Buffalo Bills might actually upset the Kansas City Chiefs. And then all of a sudden, the Kansas City Chiefs come right back, and they're like, not today, we still here. And then all of a sudden, the coin flip happens, the overtime rules, which everybody's talking about, like, oh, these suck, like, why can't the other team, go to the college, do what college does, and let the other team get the ball as well after they score, which I absolutely agree with. But hey, that's how it is. That's how it's always going to be. And unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with it, because the NFL they like their old rules. They like to have everything as it is, their conservative values. But hey, you know what? Go ahead. Do what you want to do. But yeah, just seeing the stats, and Josh Allen, man. Whew. 27 for 37 for 324 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, a quarterback rating of 136. Like, he was sensational, absolutely sensational. Ran for 68 yards. This is top tier quarterback play and he's creeping up on tier 1. I called him tier 2, but after this game, you know what? Hey, he's inching the tier 1. He's almost there. He's getting there. And then you see Patrick Mahomes, 33 for 44 for 378 yards, 3 touchdowns. He ran for like 69 yards, had a quarterback rating of 123. Like, these two guys were sensational. You can't ask any more for a football game for quarterbacks to just show up and do what they need to do. They weren't like Aaron Rodgers, who just folded under pressure. No, these two guys right here were ready. They were inspired, and they wanted to win this football game. It was insane. It was sensational. Patrick Mahomes, I just don't have much words to say. You know, I went to go see him back maybe 11 weeks ago when I went to go see the Chiefs versus the Washington football team, and he was not playing very particularly well. You know, he was looking suspect, even though they won the game. He was turning the ball over from the ball, doing all types of crazy stuff. But now it looks like he's gotten together. The team's gotten together. They rallied behind one another, and they're playing championship level football. They're playing like the team that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they're ready for another Super Bowl run, because now they're in the championship game versus Cincinnati Bengals, and it's going to be very interesting. This matchup right here, Joe Burrow, he's come alive. He's the second coming. Young stud with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, with Joe Mixon. Like, this is what it's all about. This is what football is all about. Seeing young, talented players face against one another, and this is going to be really great to watch. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm gonna still go with the Kansas City Chiefs because I just can't bet. I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I can't bet against the Kansas City Chiefs, especially with that experience, especially with that talent on offense, especially with their defense getting a lot better in recent memory. So I got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs on this one. But the Cincinnati Bengals, I would not be shocked if the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's just how potent, because it's just how good, how great Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, all these other guys have been so far. So it's going to be an interesting game. I'm definitely going to make a video about it, previewing the game, giving me my thoughts and everything. But just overall, I just want to know what you guys think. How did you guys feel about these matchups? Were you guys just as excited as I am? Because this was just an amazing round of games, albeit the Packers lost, and I'm kind of sad, but still, at the end of the day, it was still great finishes after great finishes after great finishes. Comment down below how you guys think. Please like and subscribe to the videos. I'm gonna be making more content, and I'm gonna be making content exclusively for other social media platforms as well later down the road. So you guys definitely should subscribe to my Tinder, my Twitter, my Instagram, and Facebook. It's still work in progress. Maybe down the road I'm gonna be looking at Facebook as well, so you should definitely go check out and follow my Facebook as well. But yeah, like, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are as excited for the next round of football as well. Thank you guys for watching, and